is Owen DeBrinker, and finally, I get to review one of the most anticipated movies of 2021, including my most anticipated movie of 2021. I am so pumped right now to review Dune. This movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve and stars the talented amount of people, including Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, Ken Watanabe, and Stellan Skarsgård. This movie is based on one of the best science fiction books of all time, and this movie is the third adaptation of Dune, because we got the Leach's film and we got a TV series which I haven't seen. But I've seen the David Leitch film, and that film was a piece of shit. But now let's review the new version of the Dune story. This movie tells the story of Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man born into a great destiny beyond his understanding. He must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people. As the forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, only those who conquer their fear will survive. Now, obviously, I was pumped for this movie. Now, I literally went into the trailers very, very blind. I know nothing about the Dune books. But after I saw the trailer of the movie, I got really, really pumped. And I started reading the book, and the book was fantastic. I love the book. It's the first time I have read a book in a while. I thought the books are really, really well done. And I've seen the other adaptations of Dune, except for the TV series, but I have seen the David Leitch version, and obviously that film sucked. I really wasn't a fan of that film. I find that film pretty boring, to be honest. So now we got Denis Villeneuve's version of Dune, and I heard that he is a big fan of the Dune books. So this is his vision of the film, and honestly, I was excited because Denis Villeneuve is directing it, and obviously everyone knows who Denis Villeneuve is. Obviously his films are incredible, from Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049. He is a fantastic director. To me, he's basically the next Christopher Nolan. He knows how to do filmmaking, so it's no surprise I was excited for this film because of him. And this film has a talented amount of people, probably one of the biggest casts of this entire year. So this movie looks absolutely epic. But this film brings me some bad news as well. I've watched the film, but unfortunately I had to see this movie at home because we are still in lockdown right now. I have ExpressVPN, so I can access HBO Max, so I did watch Dune at home, but with a really good TV with great surround sound, so I'm totally fine with it. But after seeing this movie put me into shame that I didn't see this movie in theaters, and I will see this movie in theaters this December, the Australian release date, in IMAX, because guys, Dune is freaking incredible. Guys, Dune, I don't know if there's going to be a film that tops this, but so far, Dune is one of my favorite films that I have seen in 2021. This film is absolutely the next science fiction epic. I see this as the next Star Wars. I see this as the next Lord of the Rings. This is a new, big franchise because this is going to be a 3-part movie, as you of course heard. And honestly, I'm so excited to see the rest of these movies because Dune starts off fantastic with this new franchise, and honestly I'm so excited for the other movies in the future. Guys, this movie's fantastic, and I would say this film has a lot of positivity. This movie has a great amount of people in it, and the cast of this movie is fantastic. I'm not going to talk about them all individually because obviously there's a lot of people in this film, but from performances from Oscar Isaac, from Josh Brolin, from Ken Watanabe, Javier Bardem, Stellan Skarsgård is a very menacing villain. He is great in the film. And Dave Bautista is also really menacing in the film. Every single one of those cast members that I mentioned does a fantastic performance in this film. But obviously there are performances that stand out for me. First off, Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides. Now, I really love Timothée Chalamet. I think he's a really good actor. He's been in a lot of great movies. Call Me By Your Name, he's really good in that movie. He was good in Interstellar. He's a great actor. This movie is where he gets to shine. This is definitely one of my favorite performances by him. He is so great as his character. He's definitely the next Luke Skywalker. But the acting from Timothée Chalamet in the film is so fantastic. There are moments where I'm like, he needs to get nominated for an Oscar. There's a tense scene, which I'm not going to spoil. My God, I'm like, how does he not get nominated? If he's not nominated, the Oscars should be ashamed of themselves because he is phenomenal in this movie. Now, if you guys are expecting to see Zendaya a lot in this film, for Zendaya fans out there, you're not going to get that. She really isn't much in this film, But what this film did a great job is her performance. She does a great job in this film. I love Zendaya in this film, and I can't wait to see her in the future films. This is more of a setup to the world and the characters, so that's why Zendaya really isn't much in the film. But she is great in the film, and she has an importance for the story. Jason Momoa in this film is also fantastic. I love Jason Momoa in this film. He has a sense of charm, he does bring up some humor in the film, but also he has a great chemistry with Paul in the film. And speaking of great chemistry with Paul, Rebecca Ferguson in this film. Now, I love Rebecca Ferguson. I think she is a phenomenal actress. She's been good in movies, but this is her movie to shine. She is fantastic in this movie. Probably one of my favorite performances from hers, I'm not gonna lie. She is really, really fantastic in this film, and she has another great chemistry with Paul in the film. It's a very important chemistry as well, and it is handled very, very well. The cast members all around are fantastic in the film, but what about the scope? What about the look of this film? Absolutely incredible. Now, Roger Deakins, as he's involved with most in these films, is not part of this film. He didn't do the cinematography of this film. The cinematographer is Greg Fraser. Hopefully I say his name right. He's going to do the cinematography for the Batman next year. And honestly, I'm excited after this film because the look of this movie, the cinematography of this movie is fantastic. I love the look of this movie. The cinematography looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see it again in IMAX. I will see this movie again in IMAX because everyone said the IMAX experience is fantastic, so I will see this movie in IMAX once again when it comes out in December. But what I saw right now, the cinematography looks fantastic, and the look of the world of Arrakis, which is the desert planet it took place in, it looks incredible. The movie looks fantastic. It's definitely looking like a great science fiction epic. And the score by the legendary Hans Zimmer. Incredible! The score in this movie is some of the best scores I've seen Hans Zimmer do in a while. At least from this decade. When you listen to the score on Spotify, after you see the movie, it just makes you feel good. The score comes in at the right time, and I just love how the score is portrayed. With drums, with the choir, it makes this movie much more epic than it actually is. And that is this movie. It is epic. This movie is mostly a setup to the future movies. But what's great about it is that this movie still feels like an epic. It's setting up this world. It's setting up where these movies are going to take place. It kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, which in my opinion is my favorite out of the series because I love the setup of the world. Even the first Star Wars, I love that it sets up the world. Dune does the exact same thing. It reminds me of those films where it sets up this world, it sets up the characters that's going to be in future movies. That's what's fantastic about this film. This film is a great setup for the future movies to come, and that's what could worry everybody. If this movie turns out bad, and it tries so hard to set up everything, we won't get other movies because this movie does feel incomplete. Because we need the other movies to complete this story, because this movie is mostly a setup, and I'm sure this movie's going to do well because this movie is mostly loved by critics and audiences, including myself. This is a 2-hour and 30-minute epic that has great pacing, but it never feels boring. It never feels boring because I was following the story the whole way through, because I read the book, I understand the book, and the movie portrays the books fantastically, and Denis Villeneuve is so fantastic directing this film. He is definitely the perfect director for this movie. He's just fantastic directing the film, and he hasn't even made a bad film yet, which is fantastic. Please keep it going, Denis Villeneuve. Continue this franchise, because overall, guys, Dune is the science fiction epic you would expect. This movie is incredible with all great actors in the film. The movie's a great setup to the world of Arrakis. I love the cinematography of this film. The story throughout, I understand it completely. Some people could get confused by it, but honestly, I understand the story completely. You don't need to read the books to see this film. You can understand it throughout this film. The writing is great. The score is fantastic. Especially the score. It's fantastic. The cinematography is great. The story, everything about Dune brings up to me, so far, one of my favorite movies that I have seen in 2021, and I can't wait to see what Dune Part 2 presents in 2023. We finally get an announcement when it's coming out, and I'm excited for that year. I am definitely going to give Dune an A+. Oh yeah, I'm so pumped to see this movie again in IMAX. I'm definitely going to be the first person to see this movie in December in IMAX. I have to cheat. I have to watch this movie early in case we could get another coronavirus, you know what I mean? Like, another lockdown. In case that happens, at least I won't miss this masterpiece right there. So, guys, that is my review. Spoiler-free review of Denis Villeneuve's science fiction epic Dune. Let me know what you think of this film. Do you like the film? Hate the film? You thought it's okay? Do you think this film adapted from the book very, very well? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Keep contact with me. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel notified for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. And have a nice day.